So Doc was doing some digging in the safe, and we've got this beauty here. This is a Hopkins and Allen. I have no idea what the model number is. If you guys know, maybe we'll get Ian from Forgotten Weapons to chime in down below on what this little piece is, but this is in 22 long, and as you can see, there's some interesting things going on there. Chambered in 22 long. And this gun is right around the turn of the century, so it's over 100 years old. But it is a blast to shoot. We're gonna hop into some of the things that are neat on this thing. I'm gonna shoot this thing again real quick. But so let's look at the extraction. So to open, this is a breech loaded single shot, obviously hammer driven rim fire gun, right? Cock it each time, single action only. To open it, you push right here on these tabs. See these right here? And the thing will open. This is going to happen very quickly. As the thing drops, you can see that right about there, there's some actuation of the extractor, and that sucker comes out right like that. Now, if I do this full speed, it looks like that. Is that not cute or what? Now, this is one of those spur hammer types, so again, I'm not going to fire it like this, but you can see that this is the actual hammer or the pin that contacts the cartridge is actually attached to the hammer. So this is not one of those things that you would want to dry fire per se, and you shouldn't dry fire rimfire guns anyway because they can eat them up. But as you guys can see from looking at this thing, that it has been worked, and we'll get some tight ones in there for you. We're also going to have to get the trigger meter out because this thing is wicked light. Like, I have rules on how you acquire the sights, and then after you get the sights on the target, then you go to the trigger. The very first time I shot this gun, I followed all my rules, and the reason you do that is if you're hopped up on adrenaline, you may accidentally trip that trigger. Well, I wasn't hopped up on adrenaline, and I still tripped the trigger on this thing because it is stupid light. I was unprepared for that little bit. Like, I wasn't even ready for that one. So what I want to do really quick while I have a few rounds left here, we're going to walk this thing out. So swivel around here on this side, and let's start off. We'll start off with an 8-inch gong, okay? And we'll just see if I can hit that. Got it. Cool. 8-inch gong, about 55 yards. How about an 8-inch gong at like 70? What do you think? That red one down there? It's even quartered away a little bit. Let's see. Oh, I didn't see where that one went. It might be running out of juice by the time it gets down there. Did you see? No? I'm gonna aim a little high. I can't see it in those weeds. We'll try a little bit bigger target. Okay. How about the gong down there, the big gong? Still missed. That's about 120 yards though. I'm pretty sure this thing's out of gas by the time it gets down there. Yeah. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so we're gonna have to let Doc shoot this thing. I'm gonna go get the trigger meter and the chronograph so we can see what this thing's actually doing, because I'm interested. Long barrel, but still with that little 22 short or 22 long round, which is a little bit shorter than a 22 long rifle round. Keep that in mind. I'm not entirely sure how much this thing is getting, but this thing is a blast to shoot. Like, if you have an opportunity to play with one of these, take it.
Boy, you weren't joking about that trigger, are you?
No,
I'll tell you what, that thing's light. Got in the safe earlier today, dug out this old piece. I thought that guys would get a treat, you know, shooting it. Just a really fun gun. You know, it's old. I mean, you got to kind of treat it gently, but it's still very usable, very shootable, and it has definitely had its time on the range, as you can tell. We're shooting some CCI 22 long mini mags. There's considerable difference between, you know, 22 long rifle and 22 long, but just a fun gun to shoot. I'm going to leave the brass in here because we were talking about this trigger, and we just happen to have a trigger gauge with us today, and we've got to see what this thing's pulling, because I'm telling you, it's got to be under a pound.
Oh, it's going to be darn close.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave the brass in there. I'll go ahead, for safety's sake, I'll go ahead and put another, drop the hammer one more time on that piece of brass, just to make sure, so everybody knows that it is a safe gun. So let's go ahead and see what we got here.
10. Do the average is all I have to say.
Yeah, we're right about 10 ounces on this trigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty tight.
So
pretty tight.
All safety rules apply when you're shooting this weapon here. We're going to put this thing through a chronograph now, just to see exactly what kind of velocity we get out of it.
All right, chrono is ready to run.
All right.
So what's the stated velocity on the long?
1215.
1215. I don't know about that.
1215 is what the box says.
Now I do think that they're super, but they're not super by much. Got it. 1075. So just over the sound barrier, which would make them ever so slightly shy of like a 22 long rifle out of a pistol, depending on the day. You know, I mean, like, I think the Scorpion, our Volkurtzen Scorpion, does about 1200 out of a 22 long rifle. 2200 on a good day, or 1200 on a good day is about what we can expect out of that. If we're shooting like CCI mini mags or something like that, or stingers, we can get a little bit faster than that, but that's why 22 long is not as popular a caliber today, because the 22 long rifle has just kind of took it over. But that said, you don't have gems like this. If this thing was in 22 long rifle, this would just disappear. Like, this would not be, like, Doc would lose this gun because it would just disappear. But anyway, that's our video on the Hopkins and Allen. If you guys want to see more of this thing or have good ideas where we can use this thing to do various stuff, if you guys are interested in 22 long, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Maybe we'll do something. Thanks for watching the VSO Gun Channel, and hopefully we'll see you guys on a future video. Shoots to the right, I think. That's what I thought before. I'm out. I lose.